before we get started, is there anybody want to share anything this week? Any experience, any challenges? Share my screen. And today is going to be really, really hands-on. And if you have any question, please stop me so that I can go over that. We went through Jira multiple times. And I don't want to go back to the basic because we all know how we can create a new project and select either Kanban or Scrum. But I want to skip that because we have done many sessions like that on that. I want us to start when we get into this place, because in your organization, this is going to be what you will see. Right now, I don't have, if I want to open this project, I will not have access to a new project because the license expired, because this is free version, okay? But what happened is, this is the organizational Jira for organization. So it gives you more, it gives you a little bit more. So as you can see here for this specific project, and I'm gonna walk you through the interface. So when you come here, you can see your work. Where if you get assigned for any work, let's say that you're part of the development team, or you are the Scrum Master, and maybe you are the ones assigning story, you can see your personal work. You can see the most recent work that or item that you created. You can see the different board that you have, right? That give you all your board. That means you can navigate from one project to another easily from this place. So it gives you that shortcut, and you can see all the board if you is any, you see, like these are multiple projects that we have, so you can have access to that from here. On the project, you also have access to multiple projects. For instance, in your organization, you can have 100 projects here. You can have a lot of projects because maybe multiple people are working on multiple things, but you have access to that as well. You want to know how to locate your own project. And filtering is one of the key components when it comes to Jira. You have to know how to filter issue. You want to know, and if you see, for instance, view filters, it can show you different filters. And you can filter based on the owner. You can filter based on project. Like if I'm filtering just one project, this is basic filter, but also you can create filters. And I will do that so that you see what it means. Now you can create a filters, right? And this is very, very hands-on. You have to master this. This is not a joke. Now we are speaking something very serious, because sometimes then we talk to you about, you want to filter the story that are completed. You want to filter the story that was completed last year so that you do some kind of reporting. And if you don't know how to manipulate this feature, you will be lost. So like here, you see here, when I go back, let me go back again. I go back on create filter. If I click on that, so Jira give me two ways to create my filters. One, I can create filter by filtering. I can filter based on the epics. If I say that I just want to see epic, all the epic will pop up from my Jira. Okay, if I say that I just want to see bugs, maybe I don't have any, the bugs will pop up. If I said I want to see just story, only story will show up, okay? So you also want to filter, you can also filter based on the status, right? You want to filter based on done story. That means it's gonna pull out all the stories that are done, only those are done stories. That means the story that were completed. Or you want to filter just based on the story in progress. Then it's gonna show you the story in progress. Or you want to filter based on story in testing, or based on the story in the backlog. It's up to you. Now, you can also filter based on the team. Maybe you want to filter based, let me see, I'm filtering based on this specific user. If I assign him any work, then his work is gonna appear. That's how you also want to see what is happening with your developer. You want to filter the story based on them so that you can see, are they moving forward, or do they have any issue? You can also filter based on more. You can do more here, right? You can create more criteria here. You can filter based on component if you have any component, right? So like here, I just created this component just to show you how component work, and I will go through that in the basic, in detail. Because when it comes to organization, component help you to group item together. It could be item from the same app. It could be item that belong to a specific team. So it depends on how your component. So think of component like this. Let's say that you have project in different regions in the worldwide, right? You can say US project, you can say Europe project, you can say African project. So you can group that based on geography, location, you can group it based on application type, you can group it based on activities or based on gender, whatever it is, based on the nature of the project that you are working on. So component help you to identify. For instance, if I'm filtering this project, I can say, I need to filter all the projects that have no component. Then the project that have component will disappear, won't appear on my board. But I can also say that I want to filter just the one that have candidate component. You see, it will appear. I want to filter the issue that have only HR component. I don't have any because I have not assigned any. And we will assign that together. Or I want to filter each issue that has job component, then it's going to appear. So, and then this is basic, again, this is basic filtering in Jira. Now, when you talk about in advanced filtering, that's where now you are speaking about Jira query language. For those who are a little bit technical, who have done something like SQL query language, you can understand that, but it's not that technical, but it's somehow technical. Let me switch to Jira query language. You see here, I was on basic. Now I want to switch to Jira query language. That's what they call GQL, right? If I click on this, so this is the language. The good thing with Jira query language is that you can copy that language. You can mimic that. You can make a copy and edit that copy to create another filter. For instance, this is showing me that I'm filtering this specific component based on this order, which is descendant order. Let me do some filtering here and come back. Let me go to basic. Let's say that we are filtering this issue based on done. Okay. Then if you want to see the Jira query language of this specific filtering, you come here, you click on Jira query language. It's telling you that the filtering is telling you that the status of the issue equal done, and the order of that issue is descendant. So you can use this as a filter, and then you can leverage this to create another filter. How do you do that? If I come here now, I say save as. So you save this as. Maybe you want to filter now based on, let's say, in progress. And then you submit that. But here now, instead of saying down, because this is in progress, you come here and you change it down to in progress. You want to make sure that that in progress is exactly the way it's written on the thing. I'm not sure. Let's see how it goes. So now you search. Okay, it give me error because this in progress, I don't recognize it. They suggested me something down there and I didn't take it. You see how the in progress is written. So I'll have to pick it from here. In progress now, it checked green to say that yes, they are recognizing this. So let's search and see. You see, I just created a feature now, a customized feature using, I copied the previous query language and I edited that to have my own language now that I created. Any question on this? This is extremely, extremely important. And you will use this as your food. It's going to be like your food every single day. You need to use this. Any question on this? Because if you don't master the filters, you know what happened? You will struggle. You will struggle a lot to find issue. We are talking about, they might ask you to go through 1 million rows to fund a specific issue. And then they're asking you to bulk edit them. That means you want to edit that in bulks, in group, so that you can make a change automatically. You have to know this language to be able to do this, right?
Okay, Mama Joy,
okay.
I'm not trying to cut you. You said you can edit it in bulk. That means, let's just say, for example, you are looking for all the story who are in progress. So the filter will help you find out whatever story is in progress. And then now, if there is anything that you want to do on those story in progress, you can do on all of them at the same time, right?
Yeah, that's what they call bulk. Yeah, if you want to make some change, maybe assign a component to them. Maybe you realize that they are missing something. Maybe they are missing some parent. You want to assign them a parent, because normally to track your story easily, each story must have a parent so that you can track them. So that means if you have a story, you should have an epic attached to that story. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, you can, when you feature in bulk now, you can now make the change, global change in one setting instead of doing that one by one. Yeah, so you are automating already your system, right? Please pay attention to this. This is going to save your life at work, honestly. And some recruiter even ask you this question, like, okay, if you want to pull out this color, how do you write your query language? Some stupid recruiter. I have one recruiter who asked me some stupid question like this, but it's not, it's like 1 over 100. But you want to understand this. So what I have done so far is that I show you how to switch from basic. This is basic. You switch from basic.
Mama Georgette, one more question. So you're talking about the query language. So you can only do that change in bulk if you use the query language?
Yeah, if you don't do, you have to use the filtering. If you can filter that from here, that's fine, right? If you can use the basic, let's say that like right now, maybe I want to use the basic on the component, right? Let's do something. Maybe I will be able to do it. Let's use the component as an example. Let me see, story with component. Now I want to filter all the story who have no component, because I want to assign a component to them. So the story that already have component, I don't want to worry about, but I want to filter the story with no component. So I will click on that, and then all that story come out. Now you can now switch to Jira query language. It's giving you that. I want all the story with no component, all the story where component equal in empty, and it's ordered by this. So component equal empty. So if you have these are, you can save this. And if I save this way, it's not good, right? You have to make a copy. Because this is, if you save this as in progress, it's going to override what we have done, remember? So you have to save it as. And then if you put this, it's like story with no component. So now you have your list of story with no component. This story have no component. From this story that has no component, maybe you want to assign them, all of them, a component. You can do that in bulk. I don't remember the formula, but there's a way to do that. I don't remember, but we can do that next time. I will tell you how to do that. There's a way to do that, but also you can import this story into Google Sheet. You see here? I don't know if it's gonna pop up. Okay, let me watch you. That is another way to do analysis, because at some point you might want to bring this story so that you can add more information to it to do some kind of analysis, some kind of metric. The editing in Berg, I will come back to it later. I will do the research and come back to it. I forgot that now. It's been like more than a year that I use Jira. I don't use Jira currently. This is just, I just decided to do this now because I know some of you are going through some issues. So I'm trying to just do it for you to have an idea of how it goes. Because these are the things that when you don't use it, you forget. Okay, it's something that requires you to practice. I might not have the authorization because it's free. It's a free, free is also, Jira is very tricky with licensing. But this you will have that authorization with your organization because your organization have the full license. Let me go back and show you another thing that you can do with your filtering. You can export that. You can export that as a, I want to see, you see this CSV Excel form. You see, I export that story into Excel. Let me open it up here. I'm trying to bring it to you guys today because it opened to a different screen. Okay, let me share from this screen. I don't know why it's stubborn to bring it to that screen. So you see, this is the story that I just exported now. You see, so it's giving you the issue key. It's giving you a lot of information, as you can see here. It's giving you the priority, and from here now you can do more. You can do more on this story, right? You can do more on this story. Maybe you can filter based on the to-do column. For those who are new to Excel, you can enter your filter. Your filter now can help you also here, right? You can also filter. Excel also play that same role. I just create a filter to filter that. You can filter based on testing. You see? So you can do a lot on Jira, but you can do a lot more with Excel as well. Any question on that? So you have to be able to navigate those tools. Trust me, these are things that this is going to be your food. If you don't know all these tools, you will struggle at work. And I want you to really master that. So let's go back to this. So what I'm trying to do today, I don't want to go too advanced, is for us to be able to switch from basic filtering to advanced filtering, right? By doing this is what they call JQL language. Okay. So, and also you can also design your dashboard the way you want. It's really up to you. They give you the default one, but you can design it the way you want. That is another story. It will not affect you. What is going to affect you so much in the filtering? Have to know how to filter things out. It's very important. I already show you. Here is how you want to create story. You can create story from here. You can also create story from different projects using the same board, but you create from different projects, which is very, very nice. So you can also create project. I showed you that last time. Let me show you again. That's where you make a decision if you want to create a Kanban project or a Scrum project or a simple dot tracker. So that's the very specific project that we're in. How do you know that it's a Scrum board? You see sprint here. When it's Kanban, you don't see sprint. That is one thing. And then look at the Scrum board here. So the Scrum board, what happened? The Scrum board is giving you whatever goes to the sprint. So let's say, let me complete this sprint and start another one. So there one, we want to maybe, let's just put this in the backlog and complete this sprint. So what I did is I put all the story that was in that sprint back to the backlog. This is the backlog, right? Don't get confused. This is the backlog. And this is the sprint backlog. We don't have anything on the sprint. Okay, we don't have, this is the sprint board. We don't have anything on this sprint board. And this board, you can change it. You can add more board. You can move the, maybe you want to add something like testing. Maybe testing have to come before done. And maybe you also want to add something like ready to review. So when you test the story have to go to ready to review before it goes to done. All this is based on what they call your definition of done. The definition of done is based on the team. So that means your team is saying that for a story to go from here is the backlog. Roslyn, here is the backlog. You see this to do is the backlog.
Yes.
So, and from here now is the scrum board. So if you go to the backlog from here, this is the backlog, right? And we agree that for this story to be completed, they have to agree that this story have to go through these stages. They have to be in progress, and in progress for them means a developer pick the story and start working on the story. And then when the developer finish the story, for the story to go from here to here, it has to meet certain conditions. It could be like, it has to be peer review. That means they finish the coding and they make somebody else review the code before they move it to testing. When it's on the testing, they want to make sure that the QA, which is the quality assurance engineer, that they test the story and that the story pass all the QA, maybe 100%, maybe 90%, depending on their criteria. For that to go now to ready to review. Maybe on the ready to review, they have to do some kind of acceptance testing. That means maybe the PO have to review it and accept that this is, and for the PO to accept that story must meet all the acceptance criteria. Okay, for that to go here. Why don't we just go to an example? So here I am in this. Here is where I am now. We can decide to create a sprint right now, right? We can decide to create a sprint. That means I will go to create sprint. I created. Let me go back to it. When you are here, so I go to backlog. Here is where we are, and then we click on create sprint here. So it give all this and automatically give us some names. Let's say that the developer, we are doing the sprint planning and they want to agree. Let's say that this backlog is already, this backlog have to meet what they call what? Who can tell me? For the story to go to the sprint, what do you have to meet? What is the requirement for that story to meet before it goes to the sprint?
Room and estimate.
How do you call that? It has to mean what you call the definition of, man, I have veteran.
Definition of done.
The definition of ready. The definition of ready.
Yes.
Not the definition of done, but the definition of ready. Please, yes. This is very important. He will make you fail the interview. So for the story to go from here to here, so you as a Scrum Master, what happened? You will come to you come to the organization, you see a backlog of story like this. Your first intuition will be, let's find out how that story is developed. You will click on each of those stories, try to learn about that. Let me see if I can make it bigger. There's a way to make it bigger here. You know, when you don't use this thing, you forget. I wanted to make it bigger than this so that you can see. So you click on this story. You want to make sure that if this story have estimation. You can see that it's estimated. You want to know, did they have the description? Okay, you see the description, but the description should be like this. Let's say as a user, as a, maybe let's say as a.
Are you typing somewhere, Mama Georgia? You are not even seeing it.
Really, what are you seeing right now?
Oh, I'm just seeing the backlog.
I'm tapping at the corner here. I wanted to make it bigger, but you know.
Oh.
You see what I'm tapping, right? You don't?
It's at the right.
Yeah. So I'm saying that as a user, I want to be able to create my password so that I can have control on my account. Remember, the story is written into, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the end user. Okay, so you, the PO, you, the Scrum Master, writing the story, you want to think as an end user. So you say, as a user, I want to be able to create my password so that I can have control of my account. You save it. Now we want to know more than that. This task here is, you don't need to worry about this. The developer will do that. They put the task based on whatever they want to do. One, let's say that I assign this story to this developer, right? And here, you can also assign this story to a specific sprint. Maybe it's going to be sprint 2. That means it's going to go to that sprint. And then here, we already have a story point. Let's say that this story point is above 5. Take it 5. And then here, this guy is going to be reporting to this guy here. You don't stop here. You keep going down. Okay, that's where I was supposed to, that's what I was trying to do. Now he came up. So here we are. We did the description, the story point. We created the description. Where is my description now? So I messed it up.
When does it disappear?
I'm trying, okay, I'm here. So I click on something, it's up here. Let me see what's happening. So that configuration actually gives you a different, give you something else. It doesn't give me, so it doesn't answer my, okay. Let's leave it like that. There's a place here when I have to say more. I want to see it, let me see. You see, when you don't use this thing, you forget it, because I don't use it every day, so I'm still have to search my way through that. And that is what it means, IT. You have to constantly refresh yourself into this. So I have everything here. I have you can put the comment. You can put more things here. And then you can change the status if you want. You can change the status here. But right now we leave it on to do, because to do is mean backlog. Now, what else do we want to put here? So you also want to, this story have a parent, so you don't want to change it. You can also modify it if you want to here. Let me see, I want to do, let's see if it's gonna take me somewhere else, or let's just keep it here. So you see, because I put it on this screen, I didn't even need to move it. I just edit it and I put it on this screen. As you can see here, if I open it up, oh, my internet is slow. So you see here on the screen, you see here on the screen, I assign the screen automatically from here. So you can do that too. I was supposed to assign the component too. I don't know why this is giving me that. So that's why he went to this screen. It went out here. If I change and I don't assign any sprint, or assign sprint 1, then it will disappear from here. This is going to make me say because the sprint one is over. You want to assign some sprint that is in the future. That's what they're saying. So either you want to assign something for that to happen. If I assign this one and I save, then it's going to disappear from here. So that's how you can assign multiple things. And something that is based on your organization, you can have a lot of things here going on. You can have a lot, not just the description, you can have a lot happening that you want to do. So they will define that there's a system administrator who kind of create this for you, give you more option to do more depending on what they want you to do. So you get that here. So this is how you assign the the story now. That means this story have what is needed to be here. And then that's how you can also move it from down to up. You can also move it. And remember, when you move, when it's estimated, it keep counting automatically. That is what Jira has, and Azure Dev don't have this feature. You have to count it yourself, which is really old for me. But Jira give you opportunity to count that automatically. So if your velocity is at 13, you already reach your velocity, you stop. And then if you stop, you just click on start sprint. Right now, if I click on start sprint, what happened? Look at what happened if I click on start sprint. Then we add me for the sprint goal. And then we ask me for the custom, then we ask me to choose the cadence. Or then we assign 2 weeks automatically, or you choose your cadence. Yes. You can customize it or you can assign it. Then maybe this is like password design. So this sprint, they will be designing password. You need to write something here, otherwise it won't start. So when you do like that, guess what? It takes you to this board. You see, before this board have a Scrum, some type of Scrum here. Now that Scrum changed into sprint,
issue.
Sprint. This is now sprint backlog. This is sprint backlog now, right?
Yes.
Sprint backlog because that's where your sprint started. So then you move it here from here to here. That's how you do it. So now let me go back to, so this sprint we just have one because I changed I changed this. That's why he went back to this. I changed this one. Remember, I changed the sprint on this one. That's why now we just got one because this one I changed the sprint and I said that the sprint should be a different sprint. So if I put it on sprint 2, they will ask me to confirm. And then we tell you that this sprint is going to be affected. If you confirm, then it goes to sprint 2. You see that? So that is how you do it. And if you go to sprint 2, you go to the board now.
How does the sprint going to be affected? Is this because of the velocity?
Yeah, because normally you are not supposed to add new stuff.
To pass the number.
Yeah, so it warns you, but when you confirm, then it comes. So now, this story, all of them were here in the backlog, but you already agree as a team of what this story have to meet to be able to go to this done. The goal is that this story during this sprint must go like this, must go like this, must go like this until it goes to done. You see, when it goes to done, that means you completed that story. But for that to happen, the definition of done have to come in play. That means it has to meet certain definition, come to the testing, go to the review for review, go to done. So that's how your focus is only on those things. You want to track this every day. And Jira have a very good thing because it gives you insight where you can track burn down chart. And right now you cannot see much because you don't have much, but this insight, other like Azure Dev don't have this way. But Azure Dev have something that Jira don't have. I'm gonna tell you that. It has, Azure Dev will give you the whole, I hope I will be able to log in there to show you. So this is what we call Scrum board. This is what we call sprint backlog. This is Scrum board. Okay. So you will have some team, they are using Scrum Backlog. Some you will do using Kanban Backlog. What is the difference between the two? Let me show you. This, as you can see, this is a Kanban backlog. What makes you know that it's a Kanban backlog? You can set the WIP, the work in progress limit. Like this maximum is 4. If you go above 4, what happened? Like this, we want only 4 to be here. Look at this. If I go above 4, if I take this, put it here, the flag. That means there's a bottleneck here because the maximum here should be 4. So if you see something like that, then you have to ask your developer or ask them, can we move this story to the testing? Because we are already, and when it happens like that, it also affect your metrics. Okay, so you want to that when you move a story, like this should be only 2. Now you put 4. That means this guy is slower. This section is not moving faster enough. What can you do? And especially when you come to Kanban, people are just grabbing story from the barrel and start working on it this way. They don't have a set of story. They can have 1,000 story here. They just grab and start working on it. They don't have a sprint. Any question on this?
Yes, I have a question. On this board now, it's showing the number, the maximum that it can be on each column, right? See the Kanban, the developer, what they do is just be going in there, be pulling. I don't think they really respect this number.
That means that